Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Today, we have a really special Kahani ka Vishleshan, an analysis of a story that perfectly, and I mean perfectly, captures the wild reality of the modern creator economy. We are looking at an absolute masterclass in digital storytelling, grit, and honestly, the sheer power of finding the extraordinary in the everyday ordinary. So, let's jump right into this case study of Rohit's digital ascent and see exactly how a super cheap smartphone became a total, life-changing tool. Imagine this scenario for a second. On one hand, you are grinding. You're pouring your absolute heart and soul into your craft, but you're only pulling in, 10 to 15 views? And to top it off, you're facing relentless mockery from your own village. It feels like a total dead end, right? But then, almost like magic, flip the script to a completely different reality. You wake up to millions of views and a massively lucrative job offer from a huge digital agency. Crazy? Well, this isn't some Hollywood movie script. This is the actual, literal trajectory of our subject today. So, how on earth do you cross that massive chasm? That's exactly what we're going to map out. Section 1. The Viral Digital Dream, Starting in the Trenches. So, Rohit lived in a very small village. And if you looked at his resources on paper, oh man, the odds were entirely stacked against him. I mean, he didn't have a massive production budget, no fancy lighting rigs, no high-end editing bay. What he actually had was a cheap smartphone. But what he lacked in expensive gear, he totally compensated for with big dreams and just this relentless passion for content creation. He spent his days and nights writing solid scripts, shooting video, and basically teaching himself the incredibly complex art of video editing right on his tiny phone screen. It's such a vital reminder for us all, you know? The tools do not make the creator. That sheer, stubborn drive to learn is what actually does it. Section 2. Mockery and low views. Without a doubt, the hardest part. And this brilliantly illustrates the crushing reality of early content creation. 10 to 15 views. That was his average. I mean, think about how incredibly disheartening it is when you put your absolute best effort into a video, agonizing over every single cut and transition on a tiny little glass screen, only to hit publish and hear absolute silence. Nothing. For most people, let's be honest, this is the exact phase where they just quietly give up. And frankly, the silence might have actually been easier to deal with than the feedback he was getting. His friends and the local villagers constantly mocked his efforts. They would literally laugh and say, "Arey bada aaya influencer, mobile chalane se koi kamyab nahi hota, koi dhang ka kaam dhoond le," basically telling him, "Oh, look at the big influencer. Nobody succeeds by just playing on a mobile phone. Go find some proper work." This perfectly highlights that intense, uncomfortable friction between traditional community expectations and these new digital frontiers. To the village, his phone was just a toy. But to Rohit, it was a full-blown studio. Section 3. The Brothers' Wise Words, Finding an Anchor. During the times Rohit felt the most disappointed and frankly ready to throw in the towel, his older brother stepped in and really kept him grounded. He told him, "Honhar और काबिल बनना एक दिन का काम नहीं है. जब तक तुम खुद पर भरोसा रखोगे, तुम्हारी मेहनत एक दिन रंग जरूर लाएगी." Meaning, becoming talented and capable isn't just a one-day job. As long as you believe in yourself, your hard work will definitely pay off one day. That emotional turning point, it is absolutely everything. It shifted Rohit's focus entirely away from that stressful daily view count and completely back to the long-term compounding process of just building his skills. Section 4. Finding the Hidden Potter, where preparation meets chance. Now, what's really interesting about this part of the story is that Rohit didn't need to book an expensive flight to find a compelling subject. Actually, scratch that. He didn't even need to leave his hometown. He simply opened his eyes to his own community. He discovered this entirely gumnam, anonymous, but highly skilled clay potter right there in his village. The potter's art was phenomenal, but completely undiscovered. Rohit immediately recognized a beautiful narrative that deserved a massive audience, and more importantly, he knew he had the technical chops to tell it properly. I really want us to look closely at this methodical execution because it proves that virality is not just a random lottery ticket. Okay, step 1. He recorded the potter, really capturing the raw essence of the craft. Step 2. He edited the footage with his heart, carefully pacing the whole video to build a genuine emotional connection. Step 3. He utilized his packaging skills to design an incredibly eye-catching thumbnail, something that would totally disrupt a viewer's doom-scrolling pattern. And finally, step 4, he uploaded the polished product. He treated this local grassroots story with the exact same professional rigor as a massive media production. Section 5. The overnight success. The dam finally breaks. Just think about how rapidly digital momentum can shift once it catches fire. He uploads the video. 1 hour goes by. Then, a guli suba, the very next morning when Rohit wakes up, his phone is practically melting. I mean, the notifications are ringing endlessly. Within just a few days, the video crosses into millions of views. The algorithm found the audience, and his entire life transformed literally while he was sleeping. But we really have to ask ourselves why this specific video resonated so deeply. And yeah, sure, viewers were rightfully mesmerized by the potter's incredible art. But crucially, they became massive fans of Rohit's talented editing. The audience noticed those crisp cuts, the engaging narrative flow, that invisible storytelling hand gently guiding them through the video. Because the quality was so undeniably high, a major digital agency noticed the viral hit. They realized they weren't just looking at some lucky amateur, but a highly polished professional. So, the crucial point here is that his deep dedication to mobile editing wasn't just a fun hobby. It was an active resume builder. Rohit was officially offered a ridiculously lucrative, full-time job as a video creator and editor for that very same major digital agency. All those late nights, squinting at a cheap smartphone screen, it all culminated in a concrete, totally life-changing career opportunity. And honestly, nothing quite captures the emotional resolution of this explainer quite like this absolute irony. The exact same villagers who relentlessly mocked him, the ones telling him to put the phone down and get a real job, yeah, they are now citing Rohit as the ultimate example of success to their own kids. Talk about a complete 180-degree paradigm shift in his hometown. Section 6. The moral lesson. The core truths we can all take away. Let's review our key takeaways and see how this builds a really solid foundational philosophy for pretty much any endeavor. First off, talent resides within everyone, whether you're an anonymous clay worker or just a kid with a phone. Second, success undeniably requires continuous hard work. You literally have to put in the reps when nobody is watching. Third, in the face of 10 views and village mockery, self-belief is your greatest and sometimes your only asset. And finally, the paths to your own digital success, they only permanently close on the exact day you decide to stop uploading and stop trying. Which leaves us with this final, vital question. Aapka kalakar kahan chupa hai? Where is your hidden artist? Whether it's an undiscovered story residing right in your own neighborhood or a dormant talent just waiting to be developed inside yourself, the tools to package it and share it with the world are probably sitting in your pocket right now. So what are you waiting for? Start editing your own success story today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will absolutely see you on the next one.